Hi, this is Chris Castle with MLC CAD Systems. Today I want to show you one of my favorite myCAD tools called ScaleDimension. As a SolidWorks user, you'll quickly appreciate ScaleDimension because it helps you do something that SolidWorks cannot do, and that is to completely scale every dimension and every sketch within your SolidWorks model. It's very powerful, and as you'll see here with these demonstrations, it can do automatic scaling, or you can selectively pick which dimensions to scale in your model. I'm going to get started right away by showing you a very common example of where you would use ScaleDimension. This is a piece of 8020 that was downloaded off of 3D Content Central. It's a great looking part, but here's something you'll notice right away. If I take a look at the sketch, you'll see that, first off, it's kind of a messy sketch that you have here, but you'll notice here that the dimensions, okay, these are nominal numbers like 10, but if you look at them, it's actually 10 inches. What's likely to have happened here is that someone started a new design and they had the intention of designing in metric units, but they chose the wrong type of template, in this case an inch template, and started to use metric numbers. And so everything's out of whack here. Now what a lot of people do, and this is what you have to do in SolidWorks without the myCADtools, is instead of actually scaling these things really easily like as you can with ScaleDimension, you have to use a scale feature. If you go to Insert, Features, and you find Scale, all right, people would just modify, they'd scale this down. In this case, we'll just use a scaling factor for metric to inches here, and you can see the entire geometry has been scaled down. It's a feature on our tree. So if we actually go and make a technical drawing of this, you're still going to get the wrong numbers. You won't actually have any numbers here. There's a much better way using the ScaleDimension. So let's show you how that actually works and how you'll go about converting these files. All right, so let's start with the first step. First up is to change the document right away to the right units. So go to Document Properties, Units, and we'll change that from inches to metric. And we want to have enough decimal places here. Okay, and if I go to the sketch now and edit that, you'll see that sure enough, it's 254 millimeters. That's pretty big 8020. I like to see someone use that to design something, but that's obviously way too big. So the tool you're going to use, if you have the myCADtools 2013 suite installed, and you should, you're an MLC customer, there's a whole bunch of tools up here, and you're going to find ScaleDimension under this pull-down menu at the end here. So you see here, ScaleDimension, I'll click on that. And what you'll see now is two modes that this tool can work in, the automatic and the manual selection of dimensions, okay? Automatic is amazing. It does a real good job of filtering out all the dimensions, linear, radial, all those types of dimensions from your sketch, and it will scale them appropriately. There's a manual method, and if you hit select all, it'll show you all those dimensions that are involved in your sketch. I like automatic. It works very well. And the idea is we want to go from 254, I'm just picking one dimension here, that one dimension where it was 254 millimeters, and we want that to be 10 millimeters. So you need to scale that down. So the only tricky part for some people will be knowing the right scale factor to use when converting or scaling the dimension from one unit to another. And in my demonstration here, all I'm doing is converting from metric to English or vice versa. But this tool could be used for all sorts of types of applications where you're scaling a product for different size options and things like that. And in this case, what I like to do is my little trick here is if I choose the manual option here or automatic or what have you, if I type in a number here, like I want to go from 254 to 10, so I'm thinking it's just going to be 0394, right, the dimension there. And if I kind of go back and forth to automatic to this, okay, just kind of to toggle like that, it's my little way of cheating and seeing what the modified value is. And sure enough, you know, you can see that I went from that very large number to 10, okay? And you can see there's a little bit of round off error. To do the appropriate metric to inch conversion, you need to use several decimal places, okay? Anyway, so let's just use that automatic option here in the right scaling factor, and we'll hit OK. Now I hit OK, in the background, it automatically does it. Now what you want to be very careful of is don't hit OK again. If you hit OK again, well, it's going to do it twice. Your part's going to keep getting smaller or bigger if you're not careful. So just have faith and hit close, all right? You can see my part's much smaller now. So if I go ahead and take a look at my sketch now and take a look at some of those dimensions, you can see here in this case the dimensions are kind of off the map here, but you get the point. So this has been converted. So this is very powerful. I just took a part that was designed using the right numbers, wrong units, converted it over, and I just saved myself all sorts of time. Now let's show you a more impressive demonstration of this tool. Now this is a multi-feature part that was sent to me by a customer, and it was a classic example where this customer had someone else design this part. That person was pretty artistic and knew SolidWorks okay and delivered this part, but then when he got it, he realized when he tried to make a rapid prototype, it was way too small. So let's take a look at what's going on here. So I have a lot of features here. The first one, let's take a look at this first sketch here. If I take a look here at just the normal view, I see 2.05 and so on. Well, in this case, let's take a look at this number. It's 2 millimeters. This is supposed to be 2 inches, right? So we need this to scale up. So we not only do we have one sketch that has dimensions that need to be scaled, but we have a lot of features that depend on those sketches. Completely different features, like there's a revolve here, and then there's a mirror function, and all sorts of stuff. There's even a pattern, right? And if you remember patterns, if you double click, you'll see that there's an instance number that dictates the number of patterns, and that's a dimension, if you will. So you got to be careful with scaling. You don't want to scale this. You want to keep the same number of instances. You just want the sizes to be bigger. So here's where ScaleDimension really shines. All right, so let's follow my plan of attack like we used last time. We're going to change the units right away to the right unit type, and that will be inches. So I'll change that right here to IPS. Okay, that's the first step. And then I like to always kind of take a look at the numbers here. For example, this is really 0.079 currently. It needs to be 2 inches. Okay, so we're going to convert from that to 2, right? We'll go to the ScaleDimension tool under the myCADtools menu. And if I take a look at the manual selection and I hit all, you see all the dimensions of every sketch that are in my model. You can see some are radial, some are linear, and so on. And this is an example where you could go in here and you could modify, just to demonstrate here, you could isolate one particular dimension. But what I want to show you here really is the fact that this automatic does do a phenomenal job. I could say, you know what, in this case, I just need that to go to 25.4. And let's just do our trick again and just see if that does convert the one dimension back to 2. So if I click on manual and I just kind of use it to refresh, you can see that the one very critical dimension for me went from that small value to the appropriate value of 2 inches. And that's going to affect everything. Okay, I'm just going to just go back to automatic here. And I'll hit OK. Okay, it's going to tell me that some things are not fully defined. And I do want to continue. Okay, so let's do its magic. And I'll go and hit close. And I'll hit my fit to screen button and look at that. Everything taken care of for us. If I was to go to any of my sketches now and edit them, you see in fact that those dimensions are appropriate. I love this tool. Even for these little complex features like this little embossed thing that represents the gem. I take a look here. That was not a fully defined sketch, and that's why it prompted me with a warning. But it did a great job. It keeps the relationships. It just scales dimensions as it sees fit. Okay, so you can see a ton of use in this tool. And not just for converting from one unit to the next, but taking a design you've already had and making many iterations of it. It's almost as powerful, if not more powerful, than using a configure dimension in your design table to drive those dimensions. So if you have any questions on this tool, please don't hesitate to email us at solidworksupport@mlc-cad.com. Always, we appreciate your time and we hope you have a great day.